Horse racing is a glamorous sport, and you don't have to be a racing enthusiast to agree. Events like the Sansui Summer Cup, the J&B Met are just two horse racing events that highlight the thrill and glamour of the sport. But behind the scenes of all this glamour and excitement, there's an organisation that works hard to keep the sport clean and make sure everybody is given a fair deal. This organisation is the National Horseracing Authority of South Africa.
It's been in existence for, I think this is the 130th year, so we have a very, very long history in regulating the sport of horse racing and breeding within South Africa. And our objective, or our mission statement, and I'll read it to you because it's simpler than remembering it, is to formulate and enforce rules which maintain and promote the highest international standards, the integrity of the sport, and we do that in South Africa and in Zimbabwe.
There's over 8 billion rand waged on horse racing every year, and when there's a lot of money riding on a sport, there's always going to be strict rules and regulations.
That regulation starts basically when a foal is born out on a stud farm, and we have teams of people from Onderstepoort who go out, implant microchips into every foal that's born. They take blood, they do DNA testing to verify the parentage of the horse, because breeding within racing is extremely important. The horse is issued with a passport similar to that you and I would have, which gives its full pedigree. They have to carry that with the horse wherever it goes. Inoculations are put in there. And every time that horse comes to a race course, it is checked against the passport to make sure the correct horse is running in the race. We have people called stipendiary stewards who in essence are the referees of the sport, who are on duty at every race meeting. We have TV cameras, broadcast quality TV cameras around every racetrack, 5 or 6 of them at every race meeting, so we get coverage of the full race. The guys can see what happens, ensure that there isn't interference. If there is interference, to call to book the jock that causes interference. So I think extremely important in that sense.
The NHA is well equipped and is capable of dealing with a variety of specimen types. Their laboratory is rated up there with the best in the world. In 2009, only 40% of horse racing laboratories worldwide achieved 100% in proficiency testing. The NHA has received 100% in the last 2 years. Although there's a lot of attention drawn to drug testing in horse racing, Rob de Kock says that the perception that there's a lot of drug abuse in horse racing is fallacious.
If I give you an example, that over the last 2 racing seasons, we've tested in the prior racing season 4,700 odd horses, and the previous year 4,600 odd horses, and we had 10 horses that tested positive in the one year and 8 in the other year, and that is a percentage of 0.17 and 0.21. And if I compare that to the rest of the world, the UK had 0.17, Australia had 0.19, France had 0.3, Ireland had 0.35. I think that shows that in relation to the rest of the world, we're pretty good. And that, in the 17 years that I've been here, I can state categorically we have not found what we would consider to be a performance-enhancing drug in any horse that we've tested.
If a drug is found in a horse, the owner or trainer can be fined around 40,000 rand for a first-time offence, and this amount can be greater depending on the severity. If a person has 3 or more offences, they can take their licence away and ban them from training and racing.
So the penalties are harsh, but not dissimilar to what would happen in other parts of the world. If we find a drug in a horse, obviously that's out of a specimen that we take on a race day. That specimen is taken under controlled circumstances. It's split into an A sample and a B sample, to use the term that the public would be familiar with. The A sample is tested in our laboratory. If it tests positive, we advise the trainer concerned. We ask him whether he wishes to have the B sample tested, and we give him a number of racing laboratories around the world that he can choose from. If it then tests positive in that laboratory, we would proceed with an inquiry. Similarly, if he doesn't want to be sample tested, we would proceed with an inquiry. The fines are, I think, fairly steep, and we really want to have a penalty that acts as a deterrent, from people using drugs in racing.